In this video, we're going to learn how to use multiple custom post-process materials using blueprints. I'm also going to assume that you have an experience on how to create a custom post-process material, as you need to know that in order to follow along with this tutorial. I already made a video about how you can create a custom post-process material and use it, so you can refer to the video card above for more information. Alright, you can see I have multiple post-process effects going on at the same time. So in here, we can see there are 3 effects in total. Well, at the moment you can only see 2, but there's a third one as well. One of them is a static blue post-process effect. So that is this one over here, PP test. It's just a static, simple blue tint post-process effect. I already made a video about this in the past, and I have placed a video card above as well if you want to refer to it. The other post-process effect is this effect you already see. It's changing from green to red, and it's going back to green and red. It's just looping over and over. This is the post-process over here. A simple post-process effect with the color as a parameter, so I can modify it in the blueprints using a timeline node, and that creates this little effect over here. And the final post-process effect that I'm using is the screen distortion effect. So this screen distortion effect only works when I press the shift key. So this as well, I'm controlling it via blueprints over here. So in this video, I'm going to try explaining how you can create and use multiple of these post-process effects. Again, like in all my previous videos, I'm using the first person project template for this video. So in the first person project template, you have this blueprint called the first person character. And I have created most of my logic in the first person character. Now, I had already made a video about how to create or how to add a custom post-process material. So a lot of the nodes you see here are very similar to that itself. So if you want more information, you can go check out that video. I don't want to keep explaining the same things over and over to keep making this video longer than necessary. So yeah, the first bit of node that you'll find as a difference from the previous one is the sequence node over here. So a sequence node is mainly used to execute a bunch of logic in a specific order. So over here we have 0, 1 and 2. The sequence node over here will execute this 0, the first one over here, this logic flow over here. It will execute this whole part, and then it will execute the second one, and then moving on to the third one, it will execute them all in an order. The main reason I'm using a sequence node over here is mostly to split the even begin play execution node, because I'm using 3 post-process materials, and for each post-process materials you must create a dynamic material instance of. So that's why in each of them I have a dynamic material instance with each of the specific post-process material that I intend to use as its parent. And here I connected the execution flow all over to the post-process set node over here. Now for each dynamic material instances over here, for each of these 3, it needs its own make weighted blendable over here. So a make weighted blendable node takes in the dynamic material instance as an input, and then has this weight parameter over here, in which you can control how much of this effect do you want to be applied on the screen. So this value, it's a float value that goes from 0 to 1, 0 being no effect and 1 being full effect. You can already see over the tooltip over here. So if I were to go over here and then change this value to say 0.3, and then compile this and then play, you see the effect is a lot less. And you can also see the second effect, which is that static purple or blue post-process effect tint that I had before, a lot more clearly now. Giving a value of 0 will completely negate its effect. Compiling it and then if I hit to play it, the effect is completely gone. And now you can see the second post-process effect, that blue tinting effect before. The third effect isn't working at all. I disabled it through the weight parameter over here. So I'm going to enable this back again. And now it's working as normal. You can do the same thing in the case of this as well. If I had to put it like 0.3 again, and I were to press shift, you can see the effect is a lot less noticeable than before. Putting the effect, the weight parameter back to 1 again. Now you can see the effect is a lot more clear. Alright, so from the make weighted blendable, we have all these bunch of nodes over here. And I have already mentioned what all of these nodes do in the video I have mentioned before. But I'm going to quickly explain what these do either way. So we have the make array node over here. This one basically takes in the make weighted blendable node as an input and then passes it on to the make weighted blendables, which takes in an array which we made before, and then passes it on to the post-process settings over here. In the post-process settings, make sure to go down and then select post-process materials, the checkbox over here. It is under rendering features, and from make post-process settings, we're going to set the post-process settings, which is all of these post-processes that we have made, and then pass that data onto the first-person camera over here. So now, assume that you wanted to create another material effect apart from these three. So if you wanted to do that, let's go over here into the sequence node over here, select add pin, and then from the execution pin, drag it, and then type create dynamic material instance. And in this node, on the parent input, we have to select the post-process material that we want to take reference as. So for that, I basically duplicated this material pp test and named it pp test2, which is this material over here. And this material basically is a solid red color, which is mainly for demonstration purposes. So over here, just type in the name pp test2, and from here simply right click and select promote variable, and we're going to name this dynamic material test 4. From this material, we're going to create a make weighted blendable. Just type make weighted blendable, select it on the weight parameter, give it a +1 as the value, and from here in the array node, select add pin and drag this value over to here. And the execution pin, we are going to go and drag it onto the set post-process setting node over here. Now just compile it and then play, and you can immediately see the whole screen went red. And this is expected because I just simply gave a completely red post-process effect over here. And that's exactly what you're seeing over here. And that's it for this tutorial. Hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. Bye.